Welcome to Rivalry Week on ESPNU, presented by Cisco. Tonight, Jim Leonega's George Mason Patriots, losers of 2 straight, take on CAA rival from just down the road in Richmond, Shaka Smart's VCU Rams, who have won 4 straight. Let's take a look at CAA standings starting play tonight. Not a lot of separation between the first 6, maybe even the first 8, but right now everybody is chasing Northeastern. Hi, everybody. John Castleberry along with former college coach Mark Adams. And Mark, you see the standings, you know it's an important game, but maybe even more so because this is the only meeting between these schools all year because of the unbalanced schedule. So the winner would get the tiebreaker should they be tied, and that could be huge.
Well, not just that, but from an NCAA selection committee process, you look at the CAA, they're set up for multiple bids. They will look at this game very carefully here tonight.
Let's take a look at our Star Watch. A couple of outstanding players. The big guy for VCU, Larry Sanders, and of course Cam Long is really coming on for George Mason.
Well, Larry Sanders, there you see his offensive work, but I love the way he can change the game defensively as a shot blocker. And Cam Long has been so hot for this George Mason basketball team, but I like his ability to also draw defenders and pitch and catch.
Starting lineups tonight for VCU, a very experienced squad and a big, strong front line led by Sanders and Skeen. George Mason, not as experienced, in fact, a very young George Mason squad, and a couple of surprise starters tonight. Hancock and Birdsong getting the start tonight in place of Pearson and Cornelius. Shaka Smart's done a great job in his first year as head coach, taking over for Anthony Grant at VCU. And of course, Jim Leonega, the Dean of Coaches in the Colonial Athletic Association. The last time these two met was the CAA championship game in Richmond, and it was all VCU that night, particularly Larry Sanders. He had 18 points, 20 rebounds, and 7 blocked shots. But of course, VCU also leads the series.
Well, whenever Virginia Commonwealth has won the Colonial Athletic Association championship, the road has gone through George Mason. That's who they've beaten in the final game.
The Rams control the tip. Rodriguez is their playmaker. He leads the CAA with more than 6 assists tonight. And nearly a steal, but instead a foul on the freshman Hancock.
George Mason opens up, and they're always tough man-to-man defense.
Rodriguez looking for help. VCU shoots the ball fairly well from outside, particularly Rodriguez, Rozelle, and Bradford Burgess.
Virginia Commonwealth wants to get the ball in the paint. They chart their paint touches every single possession.
Rodriguez, a little bit strong. Hancock can't control it, and Burgess gets a fresh shot clock for the Rams. Again, they're trying to get it down low, but they force Sanders well off the block. Sanders, a little bit short, doesn't get the roll. Birdsong yanks down the rebound.
Both these teams will feel each other out in their man-to-man defenses. Good ball pressure, good footwork.
Hancock inside challenges Sanders and wins.
Hancock, one of those guys that can be productive, getting the starting opportunity tonight and taking advantage.
Sanders working on Morrison, drew the foul. First on Morrison, second on the Patriots as a team.
I like the look for Virginia Commonwealth. Get it down to the big guy, get your paint touches, get him involved in the flow right away.
Sanders 66% from the free throw line, but the Rams as a team 73%. That's tops in the league.
Larry Sanders, the thing I like about him is his length. He's got a 7'7" wingspan. Listen, that pays off offensively, but in particular on the defensive end, he could really change the game.
VCU shows full court pressure. hesitate to Morrison. And a turnover. Into Sanders. VCU has its first lead of the night.
Well, what a skip pass across the pond right there by Rodriguez, right down to Larry Sanders. Excellent hands by the big guy to be able to handle that spinning basketball. Had a lot of English on it.
Cam Long tries to settle things for George Mason. And normally this is a very, very strong home court advantage, but of course with the snow outside, not as many people are in this building as you might normally see.
Well, it's such a huge game for both of these teams as Shaka Smart takes his team on the road with a great opportunity to get a tough road victory in a difficult environment. And Jim Larinaga, only 3 conference losses, kind of nipping at the heels of Northeastern. That's what a job Bill Cohen has done. Matt Janning leading that ball club. It's a tight race among 6 ball clubs in the CAA.
And keep in mind the top 4 teams get first-round buys in the tournament in Richmond in early March. Big difference between playing 3 in 3 days and 4 in 4 days. Pull-up jumper for Long. Too strong. Morrison gets the long board.
Well, Cam Long is the guy to look to, number 20 in white. He's the go-to guy for George Mason. There he is.
Long tries again. Rodriguez goes the other way for the Rams. Birdsong nearly stolen. Roselle can hit that shot. Way off the mark. And now Birdsong pushes it up for the Patriots.
We get a sense that both these teams are tight. They understand the ramifications of this game for tiebreaker, for RPI, seeding in the tournament of the CAA championship.
Birdsong knocks down the 16-footer.
The only senior on this team, he's the guy that has to show leadership, especially in big games like this one.
So the 2 players who weren't normal starters come up with the first 2 baskets of the game for George Mason, and Morrison gets another board. Mason's coaches urging their ball club to push it up the floor. And Rodriguez, who leads the CAA in steals, nearly got another one. These 2 met last year twice, once during the regular season, VCU won, and then they won big in the CAA tournament. 21-point margin in that one at the Richmond Coliseum.
Well, I love the energy of Joey Rodriguez. We talked about his ability to get steals. This guy offensively runs the show, defensively dives for loose balls.
Hancock attacks the baseline, out to Pearson, who's checked in. Ryan Pearson short. And the rebound belongs to VCU. Jamie Skeen, the transfer from Wake Forest, has it for VCU.
Well, VCU having a difficult time getting into an offensive flow. Credit the defense, the overplay of the denial by George Mason.
Jumper off the mark by Burgess. George Mason doing a good job controlling the glass so far. Isaiah Tate for 3. Burgess rebounds for VCU and a personal foul against Pearson. His first and the 3rd team foul. Timeout on the floor. 15-16 left to go in the first half. George Mason and VCU locked up at 4. Back in Fairfax, Virginia. Inside the Patriots Center, George Mason and VCU. Both teams not shooting it very well to start things. Tied at 4 apiece. ESPNU's coverage of men's college basketball action continues tonight as the Alabama Crimson Tide take on Super Frosh John Wall and the Kentucky Wildcats, ranked 2nd in the nation. Men's college basketball is part of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco on ESPNU and ESPNU HD. That's Tuesday, tonight at 9 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com. Mark, cold shooting so far. VCU 1 out of 6 from the field. Mason only 2 of 6.
Well, welcome to the CAA. These are 2 teams that are steeped in defensive tradition. Both these teams very stingy, especially in the transition defense.
Another turnover. Pashelnikov, the Russian who checked in for VCU, couldn't handle the pass. Andre Cornelius knocks it down.
Well, you love it as a coach when you sit a guy down. Andre Cornelius did not start tonight. No brain surgery going on possibly here in February, but he's responded well.
Sanders misfires. Hancock had the better position. Pashelnikov charged with a personal foul.
Andre Cornelius, who did not start in this basketball game, came off the bench, says, I'm going to give a spark right away. So good in the 94-foot situation. Got a chance to rebound for him earlier this afternoon. This is a young man who definitely has range. He's got strength and quickness with that low center of gravity. Andre Cornelius, keep an eye on number 45 in white tonight for George Mason.
Ed Nixon playing Cam Long in the man-to-man pressure defense for VCU.
And you've got Cornelius and Cam Long in the game together, which is very typical for George Mason. It's a pick-your-poison type of offensive team, difficult to defend.
There you go, Cam Long from deep in the corner. His 30th three of the year. Mason up by 5.
Now, all of a sudden, when you were trying to keep Cam Long from getting the ball, now you've got 2 guards you've got to defend with Cornelius and Long.
Now Rodriguez attacks back out to Theus, who's checked in for the Rams. Theus, a freshman from Portsmouth, Virginia.
And remember, we talked about the importance of paint touches for Virginia Commonwealth. Difficult time getting it there.
Long made the play, got grabbed at midcourt by Nixon. Might have been a pretty good foul because it looked like it was going to be a breakaway for the Patriots.
Virginia Commonwealth trying to get the ball into the paint. Turns into a turnover, and I'll tell you what, that's very close to an intentional foul. Whenever you reach out and grab like that, it looks like the intent is to just simply stop the play.
I think that was the intent.
Here's the trap by Virginia Commonwealth off the on-ball screen.
Mason doing a good job recognizing that. They get it inside. Miss inside by Johnny Williams, the freshman from Memphis, Tennessee. Won't get much of a better look than that. Now TJ Gwynn checks in, partially blocked. And Jim Larinaga thought there should have been a walk. The official said there was a block.
Virginia Commonwealth that time getting that quality paint touch for TJ Gwynn.
Gwynn, one of the rare seniors on the court. Both these squads reasonably young, especially George Mason. And now Williams travels with it. Let's see what Jim Larinaga was complaining about.
Now TJ Gwynn just stays with it here, gets the ball in the paint, and passed it to himself.
Yeah,
Jim Larinaga has a heck of an argument right there.
Very legitimate complaint. Maybe from one angle it appeared the shot was blocked, but from that look you see that it wasn't.
If I could have passed the ball to myself, I would have led the country in assists.
Maybe scoring too.
No, couldn't score.
Now Nixon on the attack. Pretty move by Ed Nixon, the junior.
Last 2 possessions for Virginia Commonwealth. They get it in the green paint. They score back-to-back baskets. And watch the black jerseys on defense. Anytime there's an on-ball screen, you'll see the double team.
Shot wouldn't go from Pearson, but he drew the contact. It's on Gwynn. That's his first, and now 4 team fouls against VCU.
Well, Ryan Pearson at 6'6" and 225 pounds, he can create a matchup problem for Shaka Smart and for Virginia Commonwealth.
Pearson averages 12 points a game, shoots 66% from the line. First point tonight for the sophomore, or excuse me, as a sophomore from Far Rockaway, New York. And that stops a 4-0 run by VCU.
Cornelius really able to apply ball pressure from the point position. I love that little guy's feet. Look how wide he gets, how active his feet are. He's always attacking the ball. It's exactly the way a point guard should play defense.
Nixon down the lane, blocked by Hancock, but Shelnikov right there to stick it back.
You know, Shelnikov played very well against Old Dominion with 14 points here in the last game.
Shelnikov, a big bruiser, likes the contact inside. This could be his kind of game, and now personal foul is going to be whistled against Theus, his first. Timeout on the floor, 11:27 to go, a tight one at George Mason. Back in Fairfax, Virginia, John Castleberry along with former college coach Mark Adams. Mark, anything surprised you about the first 8+ minutes?
I'll tell you what impresses me as we talk about Virginia Commonwealth, paint touches. They have 8 touches in the paint right now and 8 points from the floor inside the paint. Shaka Smart and his staff, they chart every paint touch that they get versus their opponents. It's something how they evaluate how they run their offense and how they deflect balls away defensively. So far working out well for Virginia Commonwealth.
The shot right in the ball game for George Mason. Nice fake by Pearson to the hole. First field goal for Pearson. He's left-handed. Great fake set that up. And now an equally good move as Gwen attacks the basket for VCU.
Well, Ryan Pearson gets the deuce on one end and frankly gives up the deuce on the opposite end.
And now a steal. Nixon. Hancock didn't have the position. Nixon will shoot 2. Second foul on Luke Hancock. We said VCU leads the CAA in free throw percentage at 73%. Nixon, one of the better ones, at 82%.
And they also lead the CAA in steals as well.
Log on to Facebook today, search ESPNU and become a fan. And today you can participate and give us your answer to our question. Who is your 2010 Dream Final Four? Log on. Give us your thoughts. Facebook.com/ESPNU. That's a great question.
I've got mine. We're going to save them. We're going to save them, though. We're going to come back to it. I'm loaded for bear on this one, John. I'm ready to go. My Dream Final Four.
Boy, so many possibilities out there. Every time you see a team on TV, you saw Kansas last night, they look like they could be one of those teams.
And Texas does not.
No, but you saw a Villanova team that won on the road that looked like they could possibly make a trip. Cornelius just threw it up, got it back, and still couldn't finish it. Out of bounds, they say Morrison hit it last. VCU ball.
Let's watch Virginia Commonwealth in the black jerseys. Monitor where the ball goes on this possession. Again, they want to get it inside. There you go.
Sanders in deep, and he's fouled. The big guy catches it there. It's going to be a long night for George Mason. It's on Wright, his first. 5 team fouls against both George Mason and VCU.
Larry Sanders, bigger, stronger, better in that situation.
Sanders has 6 points and a chance to give VCU a 4-point lead, which would be its biggest of the night.
Here comes the full court pressure. Virginia Commonwealth not afraid to employ some high risk, high reward type defense with the run and jump right there. Shaka Smart, really one of the great young coaching minds in college basketball. His first year as a head coach and extremely well prepared. Former assistant to Oliver Purnell at Dayton. Former assistant Billy Donovan at Florida and Keith Dambrot at Akron.
Cornelius just threw it up. Winds up in the hands of Burgess, and now VCU with numbers. Rozelle Jim Larrañaga is going to take a 30-second timeout. He better stop this before it gets too far gone. We'll take a timeout. VCU leads it 19-13 on the road. Welcome back to Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco on ESPNU. VCU with a 6-point advantage. Don't miss the McDonald's All-American High School Basketball Game Selection Show Thursday night, as the men's and women's player selections will be announced. The McDonald's All-American High School Basketball Game Selection Show on ESPNU Thursday at 5:30 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com.
Of course, Harrison Barnes, the #1 player in the country on ESPNU.com, top 100. I'm sure he'll be a McDonald's All-American.
I would think so. Pearson stops the run by the Rams. Pearson's got 6. Now Rodriguez quickly the other way. And now numbers for George Mason. And Cornelius couldn't control it.
Cornelius, like one of those wide receivers that's wide open and takes his eye off the ball. Tries to do a little bit too much, too fast.
George Mason with the dubious advantage there. And now Rodriguez. Man, Terrence Santil scores fresh off the bench. What a great play.
George Mason has to figure out a way to stop Virginia Commonwealth from getting penetrating passes and dribbles into the paint area. Virginia Commonwealth having their way attacking the paint.
Morrison high off the glass. Sanders might have gotten a piece of that. Now Mike Eads, one of the officials, stops play momentarily. It's a shot clock situation.
Let's take a look at Terrence Santil inside. Boy, Rodriguez always probing the defense, head always up, looking for defenders. Look at him right there, just giving it up inside.
That's a great look by Rodriguez.
A little fake there to freeze the defender, then give it up. Very well done.
6-point advantage, biggest of the game for either team, as Morrison takes it inside. And he'll shoot two. Boy, when Morrison attacks the basket and Sanders is there, look out.
Well, this is what I like about Cam Long's game. He's willing to give it up. He's obviously the focal point of the defense. And right there, we're seeing Mike Morrison kind of skywalk to the rack.
Morrison struggles from the line, 49%. That foul was on Sanders, his first, and now 16 fouls against VCU.
Well, tonight, the Colonial Athletic Association sits as the #11 RPI team. When you look at this conference with Northeastern right now, Old Dominion, George Mason, Virginia Commonwealth, all of those teams capable of a second at-large bid for the NCAA tournament because of the strength of this conference.
And a lane violation. So one more free throw for Morrison.
Okay, Bracket Busters weekend coming up. Going to be a critical weekend. Old Dominion goes to Northern Iowa. It's a great opportunity for Old Dominion to help their tournament resume. Obviously, the big victory over Georgetown earlier this season. The Colonial with 7 victories over the Power 6.
What a pass from Rodriguez, and the big guy Sanders there to finish it off in spectacular fashion. Sanders has 9, and Mason having all kinds of problems with his VCU pressure. Rush shot right with a clutch bucket.
Well, now we're at the pace that Virginia Commonwealth loves to play.
Here we go. Rodriguez for 2. His first field goal.
The high-risk, high-reward defense and the full-court pressure And for George Mason, it's not good enough to just break the pressure. You've got to score against that pressure.
Speaking of scoring, 8 different Rams have scored already in this ball game. Right, double team. Morrison, pass slapped away. It'll stay with George Mason. Timeout on the floor. 7:04 to go in the first half. VCU up big. Speaking of big, how about the big guy, Larry Sanders?
I am a CAA student athlete. I respect myself.
Welcome back. You're watching Rivalry Week on ESPNU, presented by Cisco. We're at the Patriots Center in Fairfax, Virginia. George Mason and VCU, along with former head basketball coach on the college level, Mark Adams. I'm John Castleberry. Great to have you with us tonight. Pearson, pretty move, and he drew the foul.
Turnabout, fair play, as we've talked about the paint touches inside. This time, George Mason able to get the ball to the rim, and now scored 10 points as the ball's entered the paint 10 different times. But for Virginia Commonwealth, 14 paint touches and 16 points. This is about a battle of wills inside right now. The Virginia Commonwealth has been winning.
Pearson can't connect to finish the old-fashioned three-point play, but he's still got 8. George Mason within 5. It's also 17 fouls now against VCU. Great backdoor pass, and Pearson drew the foul. That'll be number 2 on Ryan Pearson.
Joey Rodriguez, for a guy who's undersized, sure sees the court well. He's always got his head up. He always puts himself in position to deliver the basketball. Joey Rodriguez can really pass the rock.
There's a reason he's averaging over 6 assists a game.
And Shaka Smart also played small college basketball at the point guard position.
Played at Kenyon College in Ohio, your stomping ground.
Absolutely, a good player at Kenyon College as well. Great academician at Kenyon College, and a fine basketball player who has learned his coaching skills very, very well.
Gwen misses twice, so a break for George Mason. You know, the Patriots are awfully tough in this building. They've won 17 straight games within the league here. Only loss this season was a tight one to Dayton. Long for 3. They got it in. Cam Long, his second 3 of the ball game.
Well, Jim Larinaga starting to dial it up for Cam Long. Specific sets for his best score.
Now Skeen tries to answer, and he does. Jamie Skeen, that's only his 3rd three-point field goal all season. The transfer from Wake Forest.
Well, Shaka Smart talked about they want to get Jamie Skeen more touches. They feel like he's a guy that needs the ball more in his hands, and there you see why.
And there's 9 players now for VCU have scored. Nixon comes up with the errant pass. Long stopped the penetration. Rodriguez, a deep 3. Bam! Joey Rodriguez from way downtown. He's got 5 points. And VCU answers. They lead by 6 again.
Rodriguez, number 10 in the country in assists per game. That little guy's tough.
Rivalry Week, we are in the midst of it. 14th annual Rivalry Week presented by Cisco through February 15th. 48 games on ESPNU, ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN360.com. And don't forget, we've got Alabama and Kentucky following our broadcast. Of course, Alabama coached by Anthony Grant, who was the coach who did so well in 3 seasons at VCU.
Anthony Grant really doing a great job at Alabama. And of course, John Calipari, the new coach at Kentucky, flirting with the #1 spot in the country.
Birdsong back on the floor for the Patriots. 3 off the mark by Sherrod Wright.
No.
Another great pass by Rodriguez. And Gwynn, the recipient.
Joey Rodriguez, look at this pass. It travels 40 feet, and he absolutely look at the backspin he puts on the ball, which allows it to rise up. That's like a chip shot from 90 feet out that you send to the cup. Is he Tiger Woods or Joey Rodriguez? Wow.
And a great catch by Gwynn.
That's part of knowing your personnel. He knew that Gwynn was physically capable of catching that pass.
That's 7 points for TJ Gwynn, the senior. And now an 11-point lead, so a 9-0 run for VCU. George Mason was within 2 at 25-23.
This is as dominating of a point guard experience as I've had as an analyst this year. Joey Rodriguez is dominating. They list him at 5'10". I tower over him. There's no way he's 5'10". I'm 5'10" on a good day.
Hancock also back on the floor for the Patriots. Offensive foul against George Mason. It's on Morrison. That'll be his second. And now 18 fouls. What did he do, Mark?
Well, Jim Larinaga obviously doesn't like the call. He turns into him with that left shoulder. If he would have stayed still, but you saw the rotation of the upper body to deliver the blow. And that's a good call by the official.
And boy, this 9-0 run by VCU hasn't taken very long. Just 1 minute and 19 seconds. Theus back on the floor for VCU as Gwynn attacks the basket again. Stayed with it. Important rebound for Williams, who's also back on for George Mason. Now Cam Long in deep. Was right at the rim and missed it bad. I don't know if he thought a player was coming up to pass to the left or what.
Well, George Mason just completely out of sync offensively. Credit Virginia Commonwealth's defense.
Now Sanders in the lane of fouls going against Hancock. Timeout on the floor. 3:47 to go in the half. VCU on a roll and in charge on the road in Fairfax. VCU on a roll, leading 34-23. The big guys have been good, but the little guy, Joey Rodriguez, has been even better.
Well, this is a guy that couldn't get playing time a year ago because of a guy by the name of Eric Maynard. This has been a dominating performance by the smallest man on the court. You need a dime, he'll give you that dime right on the money. Unbelievable skip pass right there. Joey Rodriguez then dials up from downtown. His nickname is Boo Boo. I'd like to know where Yogi is right now because he's having a pretty good time watching his buddy Boo Boo.
Rodriguez, 1 rebound, 5 points, 5 assists, and only 1 turnover. VCU as a team has 8 turnovers. Excuse me, 8 assists and 3 turnovers. George Mason, 2 assists and 7 turnovers.
Virginia Commonwealth, that hard ball pressure, willing to come out, denial with the full court traps. Here comes their full court pressure now. Love to run and jump out of it. A run and jump is whenever the dribbler turns his back on the defensive play. There goes Gwynn right there. They look for the double.
Cam Long drew the foul. Almost looked like he got bailed out because he really didn't have much of a shot and nowhere to go with the basketball.
Well, the way to beat pressure is to score against pressure, and Jim Larinaga right there getting the ball in Cam Long's hands, going right to the basket. When you play Virginia Commonwealth, you can't be satisfied by getting the ball across half court. You've got to make them pay. Lower your shoulder and go to the basket.
Cam Long has 7. Ed Nixon back on the floor for VCU.
Well, VCU has played with such a sense of urgency here in the first half.
So they've been playing extremely well. That stops an 11-0 run by VCU. Mason still doesn't have a field goal in the last 3 minutes. Long will try to change that. Pearson left alone. Rebound Burgess for the Rams.
Cam Long doing some good things though offensively. Finding open teammates, taking the ball to basket. I like his aggressive nature here as his team needs him the most.
They want to go to Sanders now. Long comes up with a turnover. 2 shots on the way for George Mason.
Watch the unselfish play of Cam Long as he spreads the court. That little subtle move to his right was able to split the defender and establish the passing angle.
First personal foul on Joey Rodriguez. VCU and George Mason each with 9 team fouls as Isaiah Tate connects his first point. Isaiah Tate, a product of DeMatha High School in Hyattsville, Maryland.
In a word, improving. He's a guy that averaged about 1 point and 1 rebound the last 17 games. He's up those averages almost 6 points a game and 3 rebounds per game. Continues to get better.
He's got more playing time lately because he's played better defense. He's always been able to shoot the ball.
And one thing about a Jim Larinaga coach basketball team, players get better.
What a move by Nixon. Nixon has 6. The lead a dozen.
They call him Everyday Ed. Now I see why. He always gives you that great effort every day.
Pearson inside to Long. Free throws on the way for George Mason. ESPNU's coverage of men's college basketball action continues tonight as the Alabama Crimson Tide will take on Super Frost John Wall and the #2 Kentucky Wildcats. Men's college basketball is part of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco on ESPNU and ESPNU HD. That's tonight at 9 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com.
With DeMarcus Cousins, of course, we talk a lot about John Wall and his unbelievable ability, and rightfully so, but DeMarcus Cousins has been dropping a lot of double-doubles on people, especially lately. Saw him in high school as well, and he's carried on his high school game and upped it several notches.
Didn't take John Calipari long, did it?
No. And I had a sneaky suspicion that it wouldn't when I saw what his recruiting class was. And just think Xavier Henry, who went to Kansas, almost went to Kentucky.
Right.
Of course, Kansas at #1 and Kentucky at #2. I think Xavier had 2 pretty good choices right there.
Sanders, too strong, rebound right. Now right in trouble.
That ball did not look like it was touched by a black jersey.
Isaiah Tate was actually passing the ball. And now they're going to say it went off with Tate. He was trying to get inside. Had a teammate wide open, but it hit the rim.
Watch Isaiah Tate getting after the loose ball. But earlier it appeared that he passed the ball to himself.
Yes, he did in the backcourt. Now Roselle back on the floor for VCU. Steen thought about the shot. Inside Sanders. Easy fake and a lay-in for the big guy. He's got 11. Now up the floor to Tate. Sanders blocked it back out of bounds. It'll stay with George Mason with 1:22 left in the half, and George Mason has not scored a field goal in more than 5 minutes.
Well, George Mason has lost their last 2 ball games, and now coming home with an opportunity to hold serve, which they've done so well for a long, long time, that Virginia Commonwealth, quite frankly, has played harder here in the first half.
Jim Larinaga is certainly going to be upset that his ball club's behind, but he's going to be more upset with the fact his team's given up 40 points in the first half.
Well, if anybody can remedy that situation, it's Jim Larinaga, one of the great coaches in college basketball, period. Taking his team to the NCAA Final Four in 2006. Jai Lewis, Tony Skinn, Fowler and Campbell.
Will Thomas.
Yep.
That was an outstanding ball club. Just tremendous chemistry on that team and that magical run. And if that's on Pearson, that's his third. And that's bad news for George Mason. It is his third. Skeen will shoot a pair. The more the points in the paint continues to be dominated, 22-10 in favor of VCU.
We talked about Shaka Smart and his staff as they literally track paint touches throughout the basketball game. And Virginia Commonwealth, because they're getting so many quality touches in the paint, dominating inside.
Skeen 1 out of 2. He's got 4 points, and VCU, their pressure has been relentless. Rozelle has the rebound. Shot clock's turned off. VCU dominating this first half. Rodriguez. Too strong. Wright has it for Mason. And Rodriguez, what a play. The shot won't go, but a tremendous first half capped by a steal by Rodriguez and another turnover by George Mason. .28 for George Mason, but a big 41 on the board for VCU. Action for the Patriots winner will continue, but right now, Sports Center Youth, Kara Capuano, Mark Godfrey. Welcome back to Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco. Halftime continuing. George Mason on the short end of a 41-28 score. John Castleberry, along with former head coach Mark Adams. And Mark, why was VCU so dominant in that first half?
Well, Shaka Smart came in with a game plan to get the ball inside and get quality paint touches, and VCU did that perfectly in the first half.
They also held Mason without a field goal the last 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Sanders dominant inside as we thought he might be. Great night for Rodriguez with 5 assists, and thank goodness for Cam Long if you're George Mason.
Cam Long was a real bright spot for George Mason in the first half as he produced. But a guy like Andre Cornelius has to step up and help in that cause. Ryan Pearson also has to be a guy that can score the ball for you. Cam Long can't do it by himself.
Cornelius will try to get the Patriot attack started. Cornelius for 3. Rebound VCU.
Good ball pressure by Cornelius.
Rodriguez all the way. Did not get the roll. So the Patriots get the first of many stops they will need to get back in this ball game. But keep in mind, they have a 17-game winning streak on this court within the CAA. Their last loss at home to a conference opponent was way back in December of 2008, UNC Wilmington. Morrison, who had a quiet first half. Cornelius 0 for 2 this half. That wasn't even close.
And remember, he did not start this game, and while he responded initially.
Rozelle with the score.
Andre Cornelius, while he responded initially, he has struggled tonight.
They still can't get it to go in. George Mason's gone almost 8 minutes now without a field goal.
Now out of the set, we'll see if Virginia VCU decides to go with their game plan and get the ball inside.
Santil, a quick move. Make that scheme a quick move, but he stepped on the baseline. Cornelius will sit. Luke Hancock back on the floor for George Mason.
And here comes the full court pressure of VCU. We've seen it all game long.
Hancock throws it over top the defense. Long. Hancock for three. Morrison there for the stick back, and finally, after nearly 9 minutes, George Mason notches a field goal, gets back within 13.
Good ball movement that last possession by George Mason.
And a foul going against Pearson, I believe, and if that's the case, that is number 4.
Watch Ryan Pearson down low. Even if he didn't foul, his defensive positioning was so poor, he put himself in a bad position.
Schemed for 2. Pearson will have to sit as Lewis Birdsong returns to the Patriots lineup.
He's the guy who gets about 12 minutes a game. He's going to do hefty yeoman's work here in the second half. He'll get a lot of minutes with Pearson's foul situation.
Skeen comes up empty on that trip to the line.
There's the double team off the on-ball screen.
Hancock beats it. Birdsong for 3. Not his game.
It is now.
They look good on that one. Birdsong has 5.
The ball movement for George Mason on the offensive end much improved in the second half.
He's only a 29% three-point shooter, but came up big there, and now Mason gets another stop. Great pass. Birdsong again from long. Lewis Birdsong with 5 straight, and now it's Shaka Smut's turn to take a timeout. Lewis Birdsong, the only senior on the Mason roster, comes up big off the bench, and he's got this crowd going. Mason on the move, down by 8. A lot of excitement at the Patriots Center. George Mason on a 7-0 run in the last minute. Mark, what are they doing differently?
Ball movement. George Mason, watch the ball as it goes to and fro from the right-hand side over to the left-hand side, and then you've got dribble penetration. Ball goes cross-court again. Why is it so important? Because it allows offensive rebounds for guys like Mike Morrison on the backside. Defense has to shift. You get mismatches inside. Ball movement leads to offensive glass work.
And Lewis Birdsong, number 33 for George Mason, off the bench with 5 of those 7 points in this impressive run by the Patriots. And now the crowd's into it for the first time tonight. Rodriguez can't control it. George Mason ball. A rare turnover for the junior point guard, Joey Rodriguez.
Welcome to championship level CAA basketball.
And you saw Birdsong was the Patriot defender who got his hand on that ball as Rodriguez tried to penetrate. Rozelle really bodying up on Hancock, who attacks the basket, and a tip in by Morrison. A 9-0 run, and we've got a 6-point ball game. points for Rodriguez. The lead back to 9.
Rodriguez has shown his ability to knock down the three, and George Mason going soft underneath the screen, left him wide open.
Hancock looking for the screen. Morrison, tough shot, but he got it. Morrison has 6 points here in the second half, 7 for the game. And a foul's going against the big guy Morrison, the sophomore. And that's his 3rd foul. Timeout on the floor, 15-10 to go. VCU leading, but only by 7. VCU with the lead, but it's a whole lot closer now. George Mason's playing pretty well. ESPNU's Campus Connection brings you campus life through the eyes and voices of the students. Tonight, meet a special face you see at every George Mason home game. George Mason Green Machine Pep Band Director, Dr. Michael Nixon, a.k.a. Doc Nix. He's a George Mason University music professor, graduated locally from West Potomac High School, attended James Madison, Yale, and the University of Michigan. Brings a special flavor to the Mason Pep Band. He arranges all the music, and as you see, he dresses somewhat flamboyantly. He is really into it.
It's Mardi Gras time in New Orleans. Super Bowl and Mardi Gras time, and I'm telling Doc Nix, he can lead the parade.
Diaz back on for VCU. Nixon in the lane. Another stop for George Mason.
Well, the energy of George Mason, they have reincarnated themselves.
What a move! Luke Hancock surprised everybody by just keeping on going. Another stop.
You just knew that Jim Larinaga would push a lot of right buttons at halftime, and the effort button has been pushed.
Had an easy look. Diaz controls it. Now to Rodriguez. Completely different energy for this Mason ball club, especially on the defensive end.
Well, now for VCU, you've got to get the ball inside to Larry Sanders.
Rodriguez, another 3 on the way. He has been the man in the second half. Rodriguez now with 11 points.
Curious how George Mason continues to go behind that screen against Joey Rodriguez. He just keeps knocking him down.
It's his 3rd 3 tonight. Cam Long hesitates. Birdsong. Again, they got a good look, but didn't finish the play. Rodriguez to Gwen. Patriot ball. Pashelnikov back on for VCU. Sherrod Wright returns to the Patriot lineup.
VCU seemed a little bit disorganized in their matchups with the substitution rotation, but now they're all set.
Hancock got away with it, and Wright attacked the basket and drew the foul. Fouls on Pashelnikov, his 2nd, only the first team foul against VCU here in the second half.
As aggressive as VCU was in the first half, George Mason turning it around. As George Mason now 8 points in the paint here in the second half. VCU 2. The tables have turned.
Wright with his 3rd point. You know, Mason brings a 2-game losing streak into this building tonight. Last time they lost 3 in a row. You have to go back to the 06-07 season.
And that was a rebuilding year after that Final Four run. still on the championship hunt. George Mason at home after losing 2 in a row with 3 conference losses. Trying to keep pace and find a way to get up there with Northeastern.
Diaz all the way to the hole. Out of control, he traveled with it. And keep in mind, Mark, this is the only meeting between these schools this year because of the unbalanced schedule. The winner would automatically have the tiebreaker if they were tied at the end of the regular season.
Well, George Mason just so much more active defensively. And John, we also talked about the RPI of this conference, the CAA, number 11, capable of multiple bids. And this is a game that the selection committee will review.
Hancock got bumped. ESPNU's coverage of men's college basketball action continues tonight as the Alabama Crimson Tide will take on Super Frost John Wall and the number 2 Kentucky Wildcats. Men's college basketball is part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco on ESPNU and ESPNU HD. That's tonight at 9 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com. That's number 3 on Peshelnikov. Terrence Santillo back on the floor for VCU. Second half turnovers. VCU has committed 4. George Mason has not committed a second half turnover.
Cam Long with this lineup, he's got to step up and score some points.
Long in trouble. Takes a timeout. He was in big trouble. 12 and a half to go. VCU on top by 6. But one of the keys to the second half play of George Mason has been Lewis Birdsong. He came off the bench when Pearson picked up his 4th foul, and he was tremendous.
Lewis Birdsong, in order to be a good player in a championship program, you've got to know your role. Lewis Birdsong knows his role. To give his team a lift coming off the bench, Lewis Birdsong getting it done, and Mike Morrison not afraid to chip in as well on the offensive glass.
You know, Birdsong is a senior, the only senior they have. Really didn't get a whole lot of playing time in one stretch because they were trying to switch him to the 3 spot. He didn't respond very well. They put him back inside, and he's been much better, as you see tonight, much more active. And even though he did step out and hit that 3, he's much more comfortable inside for the most part.
He's got a big body, and the thing I like about him, he throws that body around a little bit, sets good screens, and some little things that he does, not just his scoring, but also his ability to get in the way and set a good screen. Here he comes right here.
Senior from Baltimore, Maryland. He's open, thought about it, steps inside the arc, and hits another one. What a night for Lewis Birdsong. He's got 9. George Mason within 4. First time they've been this close since the middle portion of the first half.
And George Mason really turning up the heat defensively, just so much more active. Watch how active the white jerseys are.
Skeen, the chip no good. Skeen gets it back, it's blocked by Birdsong, but they're whistling for the foul. 11:54 to go in regulation. VCU had the big lead, but George Mason has it back and close. Back in Fairfax, 11:54 to go in regulation. What a difference 8 minutes makes. VCU led by as many as 15, the lead down to 4. Log on to Facebook today, search ESPNU and become a fan. And today you can participate and give us your answer to our question. Who is your 2010 Dream Final Four? Log on. Give us your thoughts. Facebook.com/ESPNU.
I'll give you my thoughts. Butler, because I love the Butler way. Northern Iowa, because Missouri Valley's been snubbed so many years they deserve a Final Four participant. Old Dominion and Blaine Taylor, because we coached together in the Big Sky. And the Dayton Flyers, because they're the best fans in America. That's my dream Final Four. How do you like those, partner?
Well, that's
little different slant.
Surprising. You stayed away from the big boys. I tend to be more of the power. Inside, Long fakes it to Williams, who got it. First field goal for the freshman, Johnny Williams. 4-point ball game. Nixon for three. Hancock snares the rebound. Jim Larinaga telling his ball club to push it up.
Shaka Smart would like to have that shot back.
Long to Hancock. And Long.
Tough shot.
And a foul's going against Williams. He grabbed the back of Skeen's jersey.
Back-to-back ill-advised shots by both ball clubs here. A little bit of a forced shot right there. There you go. Yeah, that's a foul.
Not too much doubt about that one. Sanders returns for VCU. Morrison back on for George Mason.
I would look to get Larry Sanders a touch on this possession. There it is.
He had 11 points in the first half, scoreless in the second. Rodriguez, another three. His fourth of the game, that ties his season high.
Well, inside-out basketball there by VCU. Larry Sanders gets the touch. Doesn't get the assist, but he makes it happen.
Actually, that is a season high for Rodriguez, number 4. Hancock. Right down the lane. Cam Long, pretty pass and great patience that time by Hancock.
I'm also impressed with how Cam Long has allowed the game to come to him. He really hasn't forced much tonight.
The junior has 12 for George Mason. They are within 5. Sanders pass picked off.
Should have shot it.
Morrison. What a pass by Long. Morrison has 8 points in this half. And the Patriots are as close as they've been since the early stages of the ball game. Skeen had it blocked by Morrison. Saved by Long. Hancock for the tie. Under 9 minutes to go. Now Rodriguez pushes it up. Another three. This one contested, and he got it. Rodriguez, his 5th three of the game. The guy is unconscious.
One of the toughest little guys in the country. Joey Rodriguez.
Most of the looks have been uncontested. That was not, and that was a bad foul.
Morrison in the open court, taking it to the rack. And Joey Rodriguez, are you tough? Yes, you are, Joey Rodriguez. Splash for VCU.
And a pretty little move to free himself with the spin.
They made so many big plays in the first half, usually by passing the basketball. But George Mason has given him a little bit of space from that three-point line, and that little guy's going to take full advantage.
Pearson back on with 4 fouls. Into Morrison, and he got it over Sanders. Morrison has 11, 10 this half. Back to a 4-point lead for VCU. Rodriguez streaking up the floor. Rozelle for 3. A whistle and a foul against George Mason. Foul on Morrison. That'll be his 4th.
Well, George Mason answering the challenge because Mike Morrison, that left hand, that's beautiful off the glass right there.
But foul problems galore for George Mason as both Ryan Pearson and Mike Morrison have 4. Luke Hancock has 3. Morrison will sit. That is going to be so critical if they can keep those guys on the floor and in the ball game.
Well, this is where Larry Sanders can really go off. Like every time down, you got to get number one in black, a quality touch around the basket, because frankly, it's a mismatch.
Johnny Williams, the freshman from Memphis, has him now as Rodriguez attacks, missed it. Long has it for George Mason. Long. And a foul. Pearson's going to shoot two. And again, Cam Long just going with the flow, making things happen. Timeout on the floor, 7:51 to go. VCU with the lead, but Mason on the move when we come back. Welcome back. VCU leading George Mason 57-53. Let's take a look at tonight's Cisco game track.
Well, look at the bottom line there. George Mason 18-2 advantage in the paint in the second half. Virginia Commonwealth, VCU had the advantage in the first half at 22-10.
Rodriguez has 12 of VCU's 16 points in the second half. George Mason with a chance to creep even closer with a couple of free throws. And again, Pearson on the floor with 4 fouls. Morrison on the bench with 4 fouls. Pearson had 11 points all in the first half.
See how the made free throw. Ryan Pearson can knock this down if George Mason will go to their full court pressure package.
And once again, the Patriots are within 3 as Pearson now has 12. They back off and pick up in the half court.
I think that's smart, because whenever you pressure VCU, it turns into that 94-foot comfort zone for that basketball team in black right now. There's Sanders down low. You got to give him the basketball.
TJ Gwynn to Rodriguez.
There he is.
Sanders bumped. Williams will be charged with a personal foul. Don't miss the McDonald's All-American High School Basketball Game Selection Show. Thursday night as the men's and women's player selections will be announced. The McDonald's All-American High School Basketball Game Selection Show on ESPNU Thursday at 5:30 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com as Roselle attacks and scores. Back to a 5-point lead. Hancock. Sloppy pass. Nixon makes him pay for it. Ed Nixon's first field goal of the second half. And a 4-0 run by VCU.
Well, this is where Cam Long has typically become more assertive with the ball. We've got a timeout.
Jim Larinaga wants to stop this before it gets back to double figures.
Smart timeout by Jim Larinaga. This VCU defense, they thrive on turnovers in the passing lanes with the denial. Good job of deflecting out with your right outside hand. Great defense leads to easy offense.
As you know, we are in the midst of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco, our 14th annual Rivalry Week. Now through February 15th, 48 total games on our family of networks. They kicked off, of course, with Villanova's win at West Virginia last night. Of course, number 1 Kansas was at Texas on Monday and also won on the road.
You've done a great job on that rivalry week, man. I'm telling you,
You have to say it very slowly. Of course, we've got a lot more to come tonight at 9 o'clock. Alabama at Kentucky. Then Saturday, Dayton's at St. Louis. Iowa State at Kansas.
Rick Majerus has that St. Louis ball club right in the middle of the hunt. Of course, Brian Gregory's Dayton Flyers ranked the preseason top 25, now showing that form with a 25-point victory over Xavier.
This rivalry turning out to be a good one. And Hancock drew the foul as Gwen was in no man's land up in the air. And that's 3 shots for the freshman Hancock.
Well, this is a true rivalry as VCU, every time they've won the CAA championship, they've beaten George Mason in the final game of the tournament. Of course, both these teams nipping at the heels of Northeastern. Matt Janning, Bill Cohen. Of course, the great coach up at Northeastern, Blaine Taylor, Old Dominion. Also in the Chase William and Mary, what a season they've had.
Of course, this George Mason squad will be down in Norfolk to face Old Dominion on Saturday.
I love Gerald Lee. He's a quality big man inside.
Of course, VCU beat Old Dominion last Saturday. These Rams will travel to George Mason this coming weekend.
The officials reviewing the shot clock.
They were checking to make sure it was in fact 3 shots and determined that it will be 3 for Hancock. He's a 74% free throw shooter, a freshman from Roanoke, Virginia, but actually spent last year at Hargrave Military Academy,
which has a history of developing a lot of Division I talent out of Hargrave.
2 more for Hancock. Birdsong and Morrison return to the Patriot lineup.
Well, Luke Hancock shoots 74% from the free throw line. He's going for the hat trick here. Wow.
Critical misses. That could have shaved the lead down to 4.
Full trap coming out of the timeout by Jim Larinaga.
Sherrod Wright with the personal.
We don't have a dead ball situation, especially in a game like this, 6:34 to go. That's a stroke of genius by Jim Larinaga. Didn't work out that time, but I love the aggression coming out because then whatever VCU called to run in that situation, they can't run it. It's a trap situation.
Now keep in mind, that's 17 fouls against George Mason. VCU is the leading free throw shooting team in the league at 74%, but they didn't look like it there. He short-armed that one. Hancock hesitates, floats, and got it to go. And got Sanders out of the way somehow.
They went right to the shot blocker's body, and that's how you attack a guy that can block shots, go right to his sternum.
Hancock has 6, the lead 5. Rodriguez back out. Burgess off the mark. Sanders can't get it to go. Hancock has the ball, has a VCU player, no call. Let's see the officials sort this out. Hancock had the ball, but also had a VCU player.
And this is a reviewable situation if the officials choose.
Our crew tonight, Mike Eads, John Hughes, and Joe DeMaio. Crowd, no question about who they want whistled. In fact, several people wanted a technical. I saw no sign of that.
Well, the officials taking their time to get it right. And I've seen more unusual situations along with technical fouls and physical play. It's amazing when the calendar turns to February, how the game changes with its intensity.
Jim Larinaga at the very border of the coach's box, waiting anxiously. Now Shaka Smart, his counterpart for VCU, does the same.
His third and team sixth. A technical foul.
A technical foul against VCU. So they've charged a personal foul to Sanders, I believe. And if that's the case, that's his fourth. So that's a potential huge problem for VCU. And now the coaches have joined the meeting. So I guess the technical was against Sanders.
Well, the thing from our perspective, you don't know what someone says. You know, there's actions that you can define and explain to our fan base. And then there's sometimes things that just happen, come out of someone's mouth, and next thing you know, there's a technical foul.
Jim Larinaga is pointing up at the clock. I'm not sure what the issue could be with that. Let's take a look at it and see what prompted the delay. Sanders missed the stick back. Hancock had the ball.
There's no call right there.
Right.
Play through right there. It's a possible foul there.
Now Sanders bumped him, so there's your personal. And Hancock misses again from the line.
Watch underneath the basket, gets physical right there, but there's no call right there.
Hancock finally connects from the line. We're getting an explanation right now from Mike Eaves.
It was called a dead ball contact technical foul
On Sanders.
on Sanders because of that late bump.
So a 4-point ball game. And now 4 fouls on Sanders. Hancock got it back. Cam Long out front to Wright. Wright. Birdsong had it blocked. A whistle and a foul inside against VCU. It's on Rozelle. His first. Well, what a difference. 18 fouls against VCU.
What a difference Lewis Birdsong has made in the second half with his effort right there. There you see it on the offensive glass. This kid's come off the bench because of the foul trouble of Pearson, and it's come up big in the second half.
8 points in the second half for the senior Birdsong. And the Patriots back within 2. That ties a season high for Lewis Birdsong with 11. And this crowd is really into it.
Larry Sanders sitting on the bench now.
Rodriguez, nice dish inside to Skeen. He missed it. And a foul against George Mason. And that's number 4 on Luke Hancock.
Joey Rodriguez has that extra sense of the point guard when to make a play. As he gets into the gap with his head up right here and reads the help defense, and Jamie Skeen wide open underneath, not able to convert. He did there from the free throw line.
Skeen now with 7. The transfer from Wake Forest actually started 24 games for Wake Forest a few years ago. 1 of 2 from the line that trip, and Mason could tie it with a 3 as we hit the 5-minute mark.
Well, here's where Cam Long needs to get the basketball in his hands. He's away from the ball now on the backside.
Right in no hurry. Huge possession for the Patriots. Morrison wants it. Morrison got the roll. 13 for the sophomore Mike Morrison. 12 in the second half and a 1-point ball game. It'll stay with VCU at the 4:20 mark.
Morrison down low as he catches the ball. Nobody double teams, and this guy has proven that he can score the ball, especially going to his left.
Rodriguez has been so outstanding tonight from three-point territory.
Shaka Smart has been looking for Ed Nixon in these circumstances.
Rodriguez contested, partially blocked. The Patriots can take the lead. Birdsong to the hole. George Mason's on top. Stop that finally played good defense on Rodriguez, and that set up the score at the other end. George Mason's last lead was at the 18:07 mark.
What an effort here in the second half by George Mason. This team has played with tremendous energy. And Louis Birdsong has been a guy that's really made things happen.
13 for Birdsong, a new season high.
We talked about the foul trouble of Ryan Pearson and George Mason's ability to get the ball in the paint. VCU dominated the paint area in the first half. Obviously, Jim Larinaga went to the Final Four for a reason in 2006. George Mason has completely turned the tables.
They haven't lost in this building in the league in 2 seasons. But they were down 15 tonight as Sanders puts VCU back on top. First field goal for Sanders in the second half. He's got 13 points in the game.
A great call by Shaka Smart. He's a young head coach, but he's a very good one.
Hancock, who's initiated a lot of offense here tonight. Birdsong with a shot clock to 7. To Wright.
They can't get it to Long.
Wright, step back jumper. Air ball. That'll be a shot clock violation, and VCU has the lead and the basketball with 2:57 to go. Timeout on the floor. Patriots on the comeback trail. A great one against VCU. VCU on top, but only by a point. You're watching Rivalry Week on ESPNU, presented by Cisco. Let's go inside the play.
Watch Ed Nixon, number 50, matched up with Cam Long, the go-to guy, in full denial. Watch. This is why George Mason has a difficult time scoring, because the denial defense, Cam Long right there, can't get the ball back. So when you don't get your go-to guy the ball, this is what typically happens to basketball teams as George Mason breaks down offensively.
Keep in mind the Patriots trailed by 15 early in the second half. Came back to take the lead. Now they're down by 1.
Remember how VCU got their lead in the first half is by getting paint touches. Look for Larry Sanders inside.
Morrison back on the floor playing with 4 fouls. Now Nixon down the lane. Threw up a wild shot that went. Ed Nixon has 10 and the lead back to 3 for VCU.
Focus on that matchup. Number 50 in black, number 20 in white. Nixon versus Long.
Long for 2. Birdsong mistimed the jump, and the rebound belongs to VCU.
The recipe for success for VCU, very simple. Get it inside, period.
Rodriguez to Burgess. Now Nixon down the lane again, blocked. Mason ball.
Tough interior defense.
Don't forget, right after this one, We've got another one in the Southeastern Conference. Alabama taking on Kentucky. Jim Larinaga taking a timeout, knowing how important this next position is. Let's check in with the studio. Sports Center U. That should be a good one, but I tell you what, it's going to be a real good one to top what we've seen tonight, Mark.
George Mason came out in the second half with the right adjustments. They start pounding the ball in the paint. But a critical offensive possession now for Jim Larinaga. If you're George Mason, you want Cam Long to have the ball off the screen and then make the decision to score or give it up inside. Likewise, Shaka Smart and VCU, everything you can do to deny number 20 the basketball. You want to take it out of Cam Long's hands.
George Mason with a 17-game home court winning streak within the conference. Very much in jeopardy, but a chance to tie it here perhaps. Long with the high screen. Right. Deflected out of bounds by VCU. 12 on the shot clock. Again, the winner of this game will have the tiebreaker should these two teams be tied at the end of the regular season, because this is the only time they play this year, so it takes on even more importance.
There's your matchup, and there's the on-ball screen. Long versus Nixon.
Shot clock to 6. Long down the lane. Rejected. Wright puts it up. Too strong. Morrison had it tipped away by Burgess. Great play by Burgess. And now with 1 minute to go, VCU by 3.
Well, for George Mason, if the ball does get in the paint, you've got to attack and double team and go for the steal hard.
This is Rodriguez. Shot clock to 10. TJ Gwynn in the corner. Burgess missed, offensive rebound, slapped away. Now Hancock has it for the Patriots. 30 seconds left, no shot clock. Hancock all the way inside. Morrison up and in, a one-point ball game. And George Mason will take a timeout. Or will they? Pearson looked like he called timeout. And now the foul. Wright fouls Rodriguez with 22.3 left. A one-point ball game. Morrison with 15 points, 14 here in the second half. Alabama and Kentucky on deck, but a lot of basketball left here. Now Rodriguez, an 82% free throw shooter. VCU tops in the CAA as a team at 73%. This is a 1-and-1. Pretty cool with that one.
If he makes the shot and VCU has a 3-point lead, Mason doesn't have to settle for the 3. With 22 seconds, we're talking about 3, maybe 4 possessions left in this game.
Rodriguez connects twice. The lead is 3 with 22.3 left. Timeout on the floor. Taken by VCU. You're saying they don't necessarily have to go for 3. Who takes the shot? You try to keep it in Cam Long's hand.
Cam Long should be the guy you look for.
Let's check in with Sports Center U very quickly.
Guys, coming up next, Patrick Patterson, preseason.
Welcome back. John Castleberry along with Mark Adams. Mark, this has been an outstanding ball game. Really a lot of swings in this one. George Mason early played well. VCU dominated most of the half. And there's the top half of the standings within the CAA as Mason's fought back from a 15-point deficit. Actually took the lead. But VCU could tie them with that 4th loss, perhaps.
Well, that's why this possession is so important. And Cam Long is the guy you want with the basketball in his hands. Also, remember, Mike Morrison, the guy that's been able to get it done in the paint and on the offensive glass. Ryan Pearson now in the game.
And keep in mind, the first 4 teams you saw there received first-round byes in the CAA tournament. Cam Long all the way to the hole. Put it up, got it. A 1-point ball game with 13.5 left.
go-to guy that time going against the screen and just use his strength to power it up over the shot blocker, Larry Sanders.
VCU 68, George Mason 67. Of course, Alabama and Kentucky coming up right after we finish here.
Now, if you're Shaka Smart, you design your inbounds play to put the ball in the hands of Joey Rodriguez. Likewise, on the defensive side of the ball, you do everything to deny the 82% shooter the basketball in the inbounds.
There's the game reset as you're watching Rivalry Week on ESPNU presented by Cisco. We are at the Patriots Center in Fairfax, Virginia. George Mason and the visiting VCU Rams, along with former head basketball coach Mark Adams. I'm John Castleberry. It's been great to have you with us tonight. And you've seen an outstanding basketball game in the CAA. And to touch on, you said something earlier, Mark, about the potential multiple bids for the CAA. VCU has only one loss outside the conference. That was at Western Michigan. If they could win here, that would be another big feather in their cap as far as the selection committee is concerned.
Well, VCU knocked off Oklahoma earlier this year. We expected a championship level battle. That's exactly what we've gotten tonight.
13.5 left.
And again, I would deny Joey Rodriguez whatever I had to do. Don't let him catch the basketball in the inbounds. And they're doubling him. 2 George Mason defenders on Rodriguez.
Of course, VCU has its better free throw shooters on the floor. Burgess to Gwynn, and Birdsong fouls Gwynn immediately. Less than a second went off the clock. Now that's 10 team fouls, so it will be 2 shots at the other end. Number 3 on Lewis Birdsong. Gwynn, 70% from the line.
If Gwynn makes both for a 3-point game with 12.6, would Shaka Smart opt to foul in order to not give up a 3-point shot?
Gwynn only 1 for 3 from the line tonight, but got that one. His 8th point. And now George Mason will come in with his bigger players.
Shaka Smart just whispered into Joey Rodriguez here. You got to wonder if they're contemplating a foul if they have a 3-point lead as this game goes under 10 seconds. Don't worry about now.
Morrison with the rebound. 10 seconds left. Cam Long. Long down the lane. Through the foul. And if it's on Sanders, he's done. And it is on Larry Sanders. Sanders fouls out of the ballgame as we take a look at Cam Long.
Go-to guys make smart plays in big game situations, and Cam Long is a go-to guy. Went right at the body. That's how you attack the shot blocker. Go to their sternum. Go for contact.
And with Sanders fouled out of the game, you have to go back to the technical situation we had a few minutes ago. That was whistled against him, so that obviously was a crucial play in the ball game.
It was a dead ball, unsportsman technical foul, and it's cost VCU the services of the best shot blocker in the Colonial Athletic Association.
Long on the year, 75% tonight, 4 out of 4 from the line.
Look at the size advantage for Mike Morrison. Even if he misses a free throw, without Sanders there, you've got a guy that's got some size that can tip it back out for the winning shot.
Long with 15. A chance to tie with 4.3 seconds left.
Watch out for the tip out here.
He got it. And now VCU will use a timeout to set up what they hope is a snow. The crowd that is here is really into this ball game, and this is a true home court edge. But VCU's got this ball, Mark.
Well, now for VCU, the goal is get the ball in Joey Rodriguez's hands so he can make the decision. He'll be looking for Ed Nixon. On the defensive side, remember, George Mason double-teamed Joey Rodriguez on the last out-of-bounds situation and denied him the ball. Rodriguez has to find a way to get the ball back and get free.
Nixon, Roselle, Gwynn, Rodriguez, and Burgess. Now, Burgess is the guy who can shoot the ball. He's been quiet tonight. He's at the far end of the floor, guarded by Pearson.
4 seconds equals 4 dribbles.
Rodriguez across midcourt. Rodriguez. It won't go. We're headed to overtime. Rodriguez was looking to shoot pretty much the whole way, I think. Got a reasonably good look at it, but he was surrounded. Let's take a look at the last play.
Watch all defenders converge to Joey Rodriguez. This is a guy that has great court vision all the way throughout this basketball game. But you know what? The rest of the VCU team did not sprint into open areas where he could find an open man who was ahead of him.
19 for Rodriguez. We've got overtime when we come back, but first, Sports Center U. Welcome back to Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco. John Castleberry along with Mark Adams, and a 69-69 tie as we head to overtime between George Mason, playing on his home court where they've got a 17-game CAA winning streak, and the VCU Rams. And keep in mind, Larry Sanders has fouled out of this basketball game for VCU. Morrison, Pearson, and Hancock are all playing with 4 fouls for George Mason.
Well, now Mike Morrison has a decided advantage for George Mason inside. He now becomes a weapon down low.
And he controls the tip over Kirill Pashilnikov. And a foul's going against Pashilnikov, and that'll be his 4th. Two free throws for Cam Long, as that is number 10 on VCU as a team.
I've watched Cam Long develop throughout his career. He really wants the ball in these situations. You can see it in his eyes. You can see it in his aggression with the ball off the bounce.
But you made a great point earlier. He does not force the action. He lets the game come to him.
He really did. He did not get frustrated with lack of touches throughout the basketball game, and credit VCU's defense, but he has stepped up big here.
Long, who hit the 2 free throws to tie it, just gave Mason the lead. He is 8 for 8 from the line tonight. Don't forget, after this one, we're going to the Southeastern Conference for that Kentucky-Alabama showdown. Nixon back to Rodriguez. Boy, they're a much different team with Sanders on that bench.
Well, they become a lot more of a donut basketball team.
Pashilnikov out to Gwynn. Rodriguez, a good look at 3. Got another one, his 6th of the night. Rodriguez with 22. That ties a career high.
It's amazing how many times he's gotten that open look from 3.
A minute gone by in overtime. VCU by 1. Hancock.
Boy, Pearson really wants the ball down low and didn't get it.
Wright misfires. Nixon has the rebound. Won't get a much better look than that, but that's a tough shot. 3.5 to play in overtime.
VCU will run some shot clock here with the 1-point lead. Joey Rodriguez, their go-to guy. The smallest guy on the court, but man, does he play. There he is. Look at that. Oh,
Now ran and scored again, 24. As he adds to his season high, and a 3-point advantage for VCU.
slice and dice the defense, Joey Rodriguez.
Long to tie. Off the mark, Rodriguez yanks down the rebound. And it's taken away. Numbers for George Mason. Long down the lane. Morrison, and he's fouled. Mike Morrison at the line, a chance to tie. Rodriguez got in deep. You see him.
He's always probing. He's always looking through the defense. Joey Rodriguez gets it done, and here Cam Long pulls up, and Mike Morrison. Here comes that big left hand right there, up and in.
The big guy, Pashelnikov, failed to secure that rebound, and Morrison, who's been outstanding on the offensive glass in the second half, was right there to clean it up.
Now it becomes a battle of attrition. Both teams have had their foul troubles.
Pashelnikov to the bench. He and Sanders are both fouled out.
There's George Mason with their own troop of guys with 4 personal fouls.
Morrison ties it. 18 for Morrison, 17 in the second half.
If Joey Rodriguez ever gives the ball up, I say deny him full. Don't let him have it back.
Well, Isaiah Tate trying to do just that. Nixon out to Burgess.
And he got it back.
He gets the high screen. Inside, pass overthrown. Morrison has it.
Well, there's an example of knowing your personnel. If Larry Sanders is on the court, he catches that ball. It's a different group of players now.
Long to Tate. Tate hasn't done much offensively, but he can shoot the 3. Now Hancock takes it all the way. What a shot by the freshman Luke Hancock. The Patriots by 2. Points for Hancock, none bigger than that.
Well, Nixon, another guy that can pop the 3 ball on the backside here, number 50 in black. Rodriguez will be looking for him.
Rodriguez in deep.
There he is.
Nixon for 3. Morrison gets the rebound, saves it to Law. To Pearson. And he's fouled. The Patriots on a 4-0 run, perhaps a 5-0 run as Luke Hancock led the way.
Luke Hancock uses the rim to protect the ball and finishes with a little dipsy-do down low. 2-foot jump stop right there. Ryan Pearson was strong because of the 2-foot jump stop.
Pearson finishes the 3-point play. Pearson with 15, the lead is 5. Biggest of the game for George Mason. Don't forget Alabama and Kentucky are coming up after this. Nixon is fouled by Morrison. That's his 5th. But he went a long way with 4 fouls, Mark.
And did a lot of damage with those 4 fouls.
18 points for Morrison, 17 in the second half. Now he's coming back to impart a little wisdom on his teammates there.
What a great effort by Mike Morrison tonight. And you have to keep going back to the Larry Sanders technical fouls, the reason he's sitting right now. What if Moore sits on the bench and Sanders has been in for the last 5 minutes? We're probably not even in overtime at this point.
Nixon for 2. Both teams have been in the double bonus for quite a while. Nixon, an 82% free throw shooter, misses. And again, VCU, best free throw shooting team in the CAA at 73%. But they've had some critical misses tonight.
And remember, the last 9 ball games, VCU has won their games by an average of 17 points per game. They haven't been in this situation for almost 2 months.
Patriots will take their time now. Under a minute to go in overtime. Long double team. Now Pearson. Charge. And they're going to call an offensive foul on Pearson, and that's his 5th. So the attrition rate has been phenomenal here. Each team has lost 2 players.
Watch TJ Quinn's feet right there. He knows that Pearson, from watching a lot of video, likes to go that way. He anticipated the move. That's called preparation.
41.8 left. Jim Larinaga will take his full allotment of time to make the substitution as Johnny Williams, the freshman from Memphis, comes in. Possession to VCU. And they've spent 90% of this game with a lead, and probably 50% of the game with a seemingly comfortable lead. And now they're down by 4.
Now you run your quick hitter with Joey Rodriguez attacking the basket, looking for open teammates off the help. There he is.
Isaiah Tate has the job of keeping Rodriguez on check. The chip no good. And a foul against George Mason. And if that's Hancock, that's his 5th.
It's a good call.
And it is number 5 on the freshman, Luke Hancock, who made some outstanding plays at just the right time tonight for George Mason.
Yeah, Luke Hancock definitely pushed off on the offensive glass. Watch Luke Hancock underneath the basket. He's trailing the play. You don't see it on the replay, but I saw it clearly in live action. He pushed off right along the baseline.
So Hancock, Pearson, and Morrison have fouled out for George Mason. Sanders and Pashelnikov have been disqualified for VCU.
Well, Luke Hancock got away with it there. Let's look down now. Luke Hancock. That's not foul trouble, that's fouled out.
Yeah, that's that ship sailed a while ago. Birdsong has 3. He's on the floor. He's been tremendous tonight for Mason in the second half. Gwynn and Nixon each have 3 for VCU.
Pearson, Morrison, Hancock have all made big plays coming down the stretch.
Nixon for 2 shots.
Well, I can guarantee you one thing. Hard, trapping, full-court pressure is about to come from VCU. If Nixon can make the free throw.
0 for 2 again. And this time the foul going against VCU. VCU tonight from the line shooting 65%, so that's 8 points below their season average.
Well, the good news for George Mason, they're on the line to shoot 2 free throws. The bad news, Johnny Williams shoots 39% from the free throw line.
George Mason tonight 71%, so better than their season average. Williams has One field goal to his credit tonight.
And he makes it. 39% on the season, and he steps up and makes it.
And looked pretty good doing it. The lead is 5. That's the biggest of the game for George Mason. Rodriguez across midcourt. Long three. The follow no good. Gwynn's follow won't go. And the foul's going against Cam Long and Jordan Mason. So with 18.9 left, 2 free throws for VCU's TJ Gwynn. That's all the fouls we've had, and that's number 1 on Cam Long.
George Mason, tough time getting after the defensive glass because, frankly, a lot of their rebounding power is sitting on the bench after fouling out.
Gwynn, 2 for 5 tonight from the line. His 9th point.
Well, Gwynn's the only guy on this team who's won a CAA championship before. Just showed leadership there from the free throw line.
Got them both. 3-point ball game. So obviously they've got to come up with a steal or foul quickly. Williams will sit. Andre Cornelius will come back. He hasn't played very much at all in the second half.
He's in there to make free throws, and they're going to foul him.
Cornelius, 73% on the year. We're going to Sports Center U right now.
Let's check in on number.
Andre Cornelius' first trip to the free throw line tonight. He misses the first, but this is the big one. This is the one to make it a 2-possession game with 17.3 seconds left.
Well, he shot it and stepped forward. That was one of the weirdest free throws.
Jamie Skeen back on for VCU.
However you might feel about your playing time in the second half, these are important.
He got the second one. Now Rodriguez, long three, way short. Long has the air ball. He's fouled with 10.8 seconds left. And Long is a perfect 8 for 8 tonight from the line. Rodriguez may have missed that shot badly, but they wouldn't be here without him tonight. 24 points for the junior Joey Rodriguez.
Such a critical game. George Mason coming off of 2 losses, only 3 losses in CAA play. Had to hold serve tonight.
Cam Long. He's got 19. VCU down 5. Deep 3 for Burgess. This is everything. Birdsong has it, and that will do it. George Mason rallies from a 15-point second-half deficit to defeat VCU by 5. Once again, our final score, George Mason 82, VCU 77. The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Now let's send it to Rob Stone and Jay Williams in Lexington.